Hi, my name is Tuli and today I'll talk you through some best practices on how to schedule interviews in Teamtailor. Let's have a look. Before we can actually start scheduling interviews here in Teamtailor, you will need to make sure that your personal calendar is actually connected with the platform. You can connect your calendar from your personal profile settings, which you can find on the top right corner of the platform. From there, click onto your account and then to meetings here on the left-hand side. Simply then click onto the Connect Your Calendar, and from there you'll be able to choose the calendar provider your company is using and link your account. Once your calendar has been connected, you'll also be able to link some video services that you would like to use as part of your interviews, as well as you'll get to set up your meeting preferences, and of course your working availability in Teamtailor. Now that we've finalized your calendar setup, you'll need to activate a couple of add-on features that we can use as part of our interviews. The add-on features you can find when you click to the company name and then from there to add-on features. The specific ones that I'll talk you through today will be triggers, interview kits, and Copilot. Simply click open these features and activate them from here. Now that your add-on features have been activated, we can head on over to the settings where we can start configuring these details. Again, simply click onto your company name and then from there to settings. You will firstly be able to find the interview kits here under the templates, as well as then Copilot here under recruitment. With Copilot, you can simply come and toggle it on for the different areas that you would like to use it for, but for this particular example, make sure that you toggle on most of the interview preparation ones. Next, we can take a look at how to set up your interview kits. Like I mentioned, these you can find here under the template settings. When you click onto the pink plus button here on the right hand side, you will firstly get to name your interview kit for the purposes you're going to be using it for, as well as you'll find a field where you can write some generic information for the recruiters that they should know about this interview kit. Then from there, you'll get to list some skills and traits that you would like to assess during this particular interview. Simply click them from the drop-down menu like so if you have previously created them, or you can also create them on the spot by simply naming the skill or the trait and selecting which one it is. These skills and traits will then get added here onto the questions section, where you can link some questions with these skills and traits so that you can easily know which questions you should be using to assess these particular skills. Of course, you can still have standalone questions as well, so please feel free to just add them from here. Please note as well that these interview kits can be created here in the settings, but they can also be created while you're creating a job. I have now come on to creating a job in Teamtailor and specifically to the section called Evaluation. From the Evaluation section, you'll get to firstly add some skills and traits that you would like for an ideal candidate to have in this position. You can either select them from the drop-down menu or create them on the spot. Or, if you would like, Copilot can also help you suggest some skills and traits that it thinks that could be a great fit for this role. From there, you can give a weight on how important these are for this particular role, and these will later result in something called Job Match Score, which we can take a look at soon. On this same section, we also can find the interview kits. If you have previously created these from the settings, you can find them here on the drop-down menu and simply choose the most relevant ones for this particular position. Otherwise, if you do want to create these interview kits here, click onto the Select Interview Kit, and down the bottom here, you'll be able to find the option of creating an interview kit. If we do it this way, you'll be able to find that the skills and traits that you just added into your job will automatically be added also to this interview kit. In addition to Copilot being able to suggest these skills and traits, it can also help you suggest some questions that we can then use to assess these skills and traits. You can of course still amend these or remove them if you feel the need to do so. Now we are in the pipeline view of your job. From here, we get to set up some automations for interview invites using our Triggers add-on feature. You can find triggers here on the right-hand side behind this magic wand looking icon. From there, simply select the stage that you want to add these automations to. In this case, I'm going to add my automation to my interview stage. Click to the Add Trigger, and from there, select Smart Schedule. What you will firstly need to do is set up a message for this interview invite. If you have previously created some message templates, you can of course use those from here as well. From there, we can activate a candidate reminder 24 hours before this event, as well as then we can start setting up the actual meeting details. Firstly, you'll need to select the team members that should attend this meeting. You can always see whose calendar is connected with this calendar icon here. If you select multiple people whose calendars are connected, it will read both of their availability and only send times when both of them are available. From there, we can choose who's the main organizer, how many required team members we need for this meeting, as well as what location we're going to be having this meeting at, so whether it be a virtual location or a physical one, and if we would maybe like to use an interview kit. Make sure that these interview kits are added also onto your job so that you can use them in your interviews. Importantly, if we would like Copilot to help us fill in this interview feedback, make sure that you click here to save the video recording. Then when we scroll a little bit lower, you'll also get to set up some meeting scheduling options for the candidate, so how long this meeting will be, how many days ahead can they schedule these times for, and if we maybe have some buffer times for these meetings. Once I'm finished with the setup, I can simply just add that trigger, and now in my process, whenever I move a candidate from the previous stage to this stage, they will get an automatic meeting invite. If I now open up the candidate card and I go over to the messages section, I'll be able to see the confirmation that my interview invite has been sent. When the candidate does also select a time, this will show up then here on the left-hand side of the candidate's card. Also, if you do want to manually schedule meetings with individual candidates, you can do so from the bottom of the candidate card by simply clicking here onto the Book a Meeting. I have now invited this candidate for an interview, so next we can take a look at how it will look like when we actually join this interview directly from the candidate's card, and how Copilot can then help us respond to those interview questions and create a transcript for the meeting. Hello.
Hello.
How are you today? Once your meeting has been finished, when you come back to the candidate card, you'll be able to find a quick summary of the meeting that Copilot has created for you. If you then also want to find a little bit more in-depth details of this meeting, you can always click here to view summary and replay. Here you'll be able to find the actual recording of this meeting, find some details of your most discussed topics, as well as, for example, the transcript and any kind of chat details that may have been discussed during the meeting. Like I mentioned a little bit before, if you are using these interview kits in your interviews and you are asking the exact questions from there, Copilot can then help you respond to those ones. You'll be able to find them here in the candidate card under the section Evaluations. It will also, of course, be always highlighted whenever it has been filled in by Copilot. Of course, in addition to Copilot being able to help you fill these details in, you can do it yourself manually as well. You can find your interview kits in the evaluation section of the candidate card, and here you'll also find the job scorecard, which are the skills and traits of the job that we added earlier. When we then fill in this feedback from here, specifically when we evaluate the skills and traits from 1 to 5, you will be able to get a scoring on how suited the candidate is based on the details that we actually leave from here. So for example, now when I save my feedback, as you can see here on the left-hand side, I get a 65% score on how suited the candidate is. And the more you evaluate these same skills and traits, the more accurate the scoring will of course be. Finally, in the Analytics tab of your platform, you'll also be able to find some metrics regarding your meetings. These will be in the Overview, under the Recruitment tab, and specifically within the Meetings. From here, we can see how many meetings you're scheduling, with how many candidates, and also how much time you're actually spending in these meetings. Keep in mind, this is always filtered onto the last 28 days, but please feel free to just change this accordingly to whatever the details are that you're needing out from here. Thank you for watching. Hope you now feel confident in setting up interviews. Remember, if you've got any questions or need help, you can always reach out to our support team via the chat button in your platform. Happy recruiting!